Yeah, hi, Nicholas.
Hiya. Hi, Sai.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me to your show slash podcast.
Thank you very much for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Yeah, thanks.
So, I've gone through your profile. I can see you're doing a lot of work. So, I thought to tell about your work to my audience. So, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Okay, so I'm Nicholas Chang. So I'm a senior platform engineer working with a consulting company in a Microsoft partner in Belfast in England. And recently I just been awarded Microsoft MVP in Azure. Yeah, and we work heavily on we're big on Microsoft partners, Azure partners and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So, what is your work is about most of the time?
So my job as a senior platform engineer would be working on client projects. So whether they have any resources they want to move from on-prem, like data center to Azure, my work is to help other engineer put those into Azure itself. So whether to deploy the resources, test it in environment, uh, automate those and using Azure DevOps, using Terraform things as well. Yeah.
So, before talking more about your work, I just
Yeah.
quickly want to tell about my sponsor for this episode.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Tap Adam. Sales and customer-facing teams often switch between several communication tools, causing time management and visibility issues that can slow down deal velocity. The solution joins Start Adam, where conversation converts. With Start Adam, your team can centralize all communication within your chat tool. No more switching, waiting, or fragmented chats, because chat messaging is where business gets done. Sales teams can stay in Slack or Microsoft Teams and connect with customers, leads, or candidates on their existing chat tool, building better relationships through constant communication and inbound or outbound messaging. Make it encrypted and compliant. Plus, bring all communication into your CRM or ticketing system, no data entry required. Join StartAdam to enhance customer relationships and close deals at hyper speed with unified chat. Thank you very much, Nicholas, again for your time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what kind of projects you are doing in the recent times?
So most of the project where I mentioned is we work with different clients, so it could be private, public sector, and then it would just like what I mentioned, deploying resources from on-prem like data center to Azure, automate that using Terraform, Azure DevOps as well, and then maintain it.
Yeah, we connected. There's a network issue. Yeah, you can go on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I've been on numerous projects since I started in Kainos. So started there in 2 years ago, and I was almost hitting 2 years, and then I've been on quite a few projects lately. So it gives me some exposure to like Azure stuff, and I got some exposure with AWS, but I'm more suited with Azure itself.
You're working for Microsoft or you're in Microsoft?
I so I work with like Microsoft Azure and stuff. Yeah, it's Microsoft two technologies. We're the company I work for is a big Microsoft partner in Ireland, and then we're pretty much Microsoft stack technologies for our project, for my project, current project.
So, what is your specialty? What exactly you do and how you help businesses?
So I help businesses, what I mentioned, just if they want a solutions like an application or anything to like if they want application in the cloud, we help them like test it, deploy it, maintain it until someone else pick it up, like from the client itself.
So, your job requires development skills.
Yes. No, not actually development stuff. We work alongside developers as well, but it's pretty much infrastructure as code, like Terraform. We're heavily on Terraform, and Azure DevOps, a bit of Jenkins, and then a lot of sort of like a lot of different, mostly Azure resources as well. So quite a few and different third parties to maintain it.
So the project you worked for, what kind of projects those are?
Yeah, so one of them was building an app. I can't say the app here because it's just like confidential
Sure,
app.
sure.
So, and it's currently like healthcare app. Second, it's to help one of the government agency. And this third project, my current project, it's another public sector which is uh helping migration from dismantle the data center, put everything in Azure. So yeah, so sometimes there's work, and then we normally do improvement. So improvement on the policies, improvement on the flows of the work as well. So what to make the client better. So that could be neither using integrating it with AI, just make our productivity better as a team. So it varies between projects because we don't have any different projects, one suited projects. Because I've been on like AWS projects, now it's an Azure project before GitHub Actions project. So it's quite now I'm fully focused on Azure.
So what's your skill set?
So my skill set is oh, it's pretty much mostly Azure technologies really. So whatever's on Microsoft Azure, whatever's on infrastructure as code, Bicep, those, and then Azure DevOps, those tools. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much like CI/CD things.
So how many services you have worked with and what services you know?
Services, you
Yeah,
mean in
services.
Azure? So there's
Yeah,
quite a lot.
Azure.
So
Yeah, yeah. How
yeah,
much you
so
know? You work with.
I'm not sure how much I know. It's quite a few. So sometimes, like in my current project, I get to play around with new stuff, like now at the moment I'm building and like a chatbot thing, so I get to play around because if there's new if there's new resources that's GA from Azure, Microsoft, we can play around with it, so we could test it and see whether it's required for the team, the clients and stuff to make ourselves like productive.
And what is the difference between AWS and Azure?
So the differences between is I think it just depends on your preference really. They have their own the strength and weakness. So it's the flexible of what you prefer though, because I prefer Azure because I'm always on Azure using Azure. And while someone else that's more focused on AWS, they would say it's AWS, but AWS is quite cheaper in commute, like VMs and things as well. So if you were to do some I think you prefer Azure. It just depends on personal preference, really.
So how you do, how you start a project with a client?
Say again, sorry?
How you start? How it will start any project?
How you start any project. So, when you got put into a project, it's normally you got told by the project manager and then you get invited and then you get like, sometimes you get to meet the teams and you get shadow people and then it goes from there. And then a day that day, you just be like, uh you just attend a scrum meeting, you just attend a stand up and stuff, and just look at type of issues they have and see which one you can pick up, and you just pick up the issue that you're more comfortable with. Otherwise, you can still ask for assistance with your team because sometimes they have refinement if you need further assistance, for example.
How you become Microsoft MVP?
How did I become that's a long one. So I become Microsoft NPP just so it's for my love in the community, and pretty much I love Azure itself. So I'm always playing with Azure testing stuff, and to become a Microsoft MVP, you need actual 1 year worth of commitments in the community. So whether it's doing like podcasts like these, doing conference speaking, doing blog posts, doing uh like user groups as well, like Azure user group. I would speak on it, talk on it, anything, or it could be simply like making contribution in GitHub repo, like Microsoft Docs as well. So those are little contribution, but over time it build up in 1 year. But it's not how much contribution you have; it's the impact you have on others. So if you have a large impact, you have a lot of people recognize you, then you have a larger impact, and then you can be nominated.
So how is working with Microsoft Azure?
How is it? I find it quite good because I started working with Microsoft Azure, I think 3 years ago, and I quite enjoy it as well because it's the only tool that I quite enjoy because when I start learning it, I learned it on the COVID time because I always saw that it's a hot topic in moment. So I started Azure fundamentals and then I kind of get interested into it and I keep learning it. And then that's where I got my job where I am now today. And when I tried to look into AWS by play around with it, I had my first project in AWS. I didn't really feel comfortable with it, so I prefer Azure itself.
So what you like in Microsoft Azure?
What do I like? I like that it's the GUI is ready, user friendly, easy to navigate the portal. It's more documentation friendly than AWS. If you know AWS itself, you can see that the document is quite messy a little bit. So Microsoft Docs, sometimes they have Microsoft Learn. Now they have like a new things for exams that help you get certification, build it up by is Apply Skills, Microsoft Apply Skills. It's just like lab-based sandbox. So like those things, because we don't see AWS like invest heavy on those learning stuff, unlike Microsoft.
So tell me about Microsoft Azure in your country.
So in my country, so yeah, so we have our Microsoft Azure. So we have one of Microsoft Office in London, and I think there's one in Dublin as well. So there's two headquarters in England. Yeah, so occasionally they have events going on. So in Microsoft Reactor, if you're aware of Microsoft Reactor, every few days or weeks they do events and through communities. So then the public can come and join as well and learn from it. Yeah, so it's quite convenient. It's in London, and then I regularly go there. It's quite good. So it's quite good in Microsoft in London. It's picking up. Some recently they have some AI like AI Day for Microsoft Bill. I think attending that is quite good. You get to see. I saw the CTO Satya Nadella, so it's quite good.
So what you are doing right now?
What I'm doing
What
that
kind of,
now.
yeah, what project you're working and what is it about?
So the project I'm on now is, when I mentioned I'm on the public sector, so I can't. It's pretty much like whenever there's any migration work from data center to Azure, I would we would pick it up, me and my team, and then we would help like whether help do the planning and help deploy the resources, those things put in Azure. So my current ticket now at the moment, it was just building a chatbot just to help other teams like BAU team work more efficiently. So whether ask more questions by using a chatbot from the service team or the team members. So it helps reduce those workload on the BAU team. So overall, it made the client more efficiently.
So the projects that you worked for, how working for different projects enhanced your skills or technical
Yeah, because
skills?
every project you learn something. So my other project before this, when I mentioned earlier, I learned a bit more AWS a bit and GitHub Actions, but when I moved to Azure, they wanted to keep me, but they couldn't say else because since Azure is my passion, and then they had to leave me. So every project you learn some skill, and this current project I learned a bit more GitHub in the Jenkins. So there's a lot of like some Python as well in this project playing around. So every project you learn a bit more skills. Like most project use like normal scripting as well. Sometimes PowerShell, sometimes Bash as well, because you can easily use that with Terraform, because if you want to like more do more things that, because normally Azure CLI is pretty much Bash anyway. So if you want to use CLI with Azure DevOps and stuff, you just use the Bash for it.
So I'm a AWS Cloud DevOps Engineer. So I'm curious to know how you solve problems with Azure.
So sorry, repeat that question. Sorry.
I'm AWS Cloud DevOps Engineer. I'm working for AWS Cloud uh,
Yeah.
as a DevOps engineer. And how do you solve problems with Microsoft Azure right now?
Just depends on what the problem is, to be honest. Because if it was a network issue, or if we will have normally we can tell whether it's the third party or is it us, so we can just look up the network adapter, look at the VMs if it was a version machine, or and then just start from troubleshooting and to see whether it's the root table, if the root needs to be added. So it's a basic. It's the same like on-prem how you would troubleshoot a network really, but it's in Azure itself. It's very similar.
So working with teams, how is it?
So working with teams. So my team is agile. So I work with my team comprises of like 7 people, and then we do stand up, we do different ceremonies and stuff, and then I'll work alongside other teams as well in the bigger team, wider team, and we work with developers as well, like yourself, because I saw that you're developers. Yeah, so it's quite good. So, and then we make occasionally improvements that which can be done to help each team work more efficiently.
So senior platform engineer. So what does it mean?
So senior platform engineer, that in theory that will mean be more so short story is you know what you're doing, and then you ask less for help assistance when required, but you know you know your ability to ask for help when needed as well. So, and you kind of like help guide junior members and stuff, whether it's to point them to the right direction if they need to, whether it's to help like refinements, help like stand up as well. So it's just pretty much senior platform engineer don't really need to be very knowledgeable, but you need to know what you're talking about as well. But you
So
can
what is
know, you don't really have to know the answer, but you know who to go to. Because normally I would know who to go to. So if I don't know something, I know who to point to the correct direction.
so what is Kainos and how it works and what does it
Say again?
work? What is Kainos and how does it work and what it does?
So Kainos is a company that I work for.
Yeah, tell me more.
So it's like I mentioned before, Kainos is a big Microsoft partner in Ireland, in England, and they work with different companies like public sector, private sectors and stuff, and help company develop solutions to the cloud. So like what we mentioned, Microsoft Azure, AWS as well. Yeah. So we don't really touch heavily on Google, but some occasionally we do. But it's mostly focused on Microsoft Azure and AWS, and we do various of projects and stuff from different region, and then we kind of expanded to to the world as well. So we now have 3,000 employees around the world. So yeah, so we have some like offices in Canada, Poland, America as well. So very good. And we're kind of big on AI now because we recently invested quite a bit on AI. Like Kainos invested people to train people up on AI. So yeah, it's quite good times.
So what are the kind of achievements?
Achievements. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry. Can you say that again?
yeah, achievements. What kind of achievements that kind of your company have done in
Uh,
recent times?
so so we just won like the uh the uh top work employer to work with in Glassdoor, the first rated, and we just won an award like last year on the first service provider for Microsoft as well. Yeah, so and we got occasionally some awards for Microsoft and AWS.
So your company majorly works with Microsoft Azure for different businesses in your country.
Yeah, that's correct. And AWS as well, Amazon.
Okay, so mostly Microsoft services.
It it could be Microsoft and AWS, depends on the client itself. If the client want to have a hybrid using two cloud, multi-cloud, Microsoft and Azure or AWS, or if the client want to focus on AWS because they have their own like IT personnel that's AWS focused, then we will have AWS projects based on that. It just depends on those. That's why we have lots of people more focused on AWS and Azure.
So working for different projects, how it feels?
So working for different projects, I kind of enjoy because you get to feel of learning new technologies. Like when I mentioned before, I would didn't know anything about Jenkins, didn't know anything about Bash, didn't know anything about like a GitHub Actions. So you get to learn quite a lot of field, but sometimes it's fast moving because sometimes you have to just learn on the job and stuff by picking up tickets, ask for help when required, just do some like reading up on your time. Yeah, so it's kind of rewarding as well. So at the moment, I rather stick to one project and see when it's ended first. So I kind of feel comfortable with one project first, and then later on I can pick up another one if one project ended. But there's other people like architect or anything that can juggle between 12 projects, 13 projects at once. It just depends on your role and how flexible you are.
And what is your observation about my work?
So I've only just briefly mentioned I saw that you on LinkedIn that you're a developer as well. Yeah. So I didn't see it much.
So you seen videos of mine on YouTube?
Yeah. So I saw you been interviewing other people. So one of the person they interviewed was Jeff Brown.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
Brand.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
yeah, Jeff
recognize
Brown.
it. And he's a cloud engineer in the Azure space as well. I recognize the name as well. So read some of his blog article as well. So it's quite good. So he had me for a bit. Yeah.
You're talking
And
about Jeff Bar.
uh, which one? Sorry. The Azure engineer, cloud engineer thing. The Jeff.
Okay, actually, I interviewed AWS Cloud Vice President,
Which one's
Amazon
that?
Amazon Web Services Cloud Vice President.
Oh no, I didn't know. I don't know about that one because I'm only
Okay.
focused on Azure, so I wouldn't know about AWS. I would know who's the CTO of Amazon. His name is Jeff as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm a DevOps engineer. I'm connecting to all over the world, more than 100 countries, experts I have interviewed, and all kind
Okay.
of people, architects, developers.
Yeah.
engineers or kind of people. So uh,
Okay, so you
being
don't focus on one, you focus on individual people itself. So you don't focus like Azure, you don't focus on AWS, you just focus on
yeah,
everything that's general.
the complete global technology in all companies and all parts of the world, and also non-technology people like police officers, doctors,
Okay, wow.
authors, psychologists. So as a technologist, what do you say about these conversations that I'm having for my YouTube channel, interviewing hundreds of people, and what I'm going
I
to learn and
would
how it is going
say
to.
it's good that you're meeting people in that way, but you need to focus on what you want to do with it. So whether it's to meet the right people, the crowd. So whether you want to enhance your career as a DevOps engineer or meet people in your circle or meet people in general. If you want to meet people in general, then that's fine. If you want to meet like people in your circle of career, then you just narrow it down. But from what I can see, you just want to meet the people in general and see what they do.
Yeah, actually, I just want to know engineers from different companies, they working on different projects and what kind
Yeah.
of projects that they are doing, and they are from different countries. So
Okay, that's good.
yeah,
Good.
so how that is going to be helpful when it comes to me project management.
You would, from my opinion, but when you meet people, different people, you just gain more insight on the personal experience, so you can see what they before you try on. Like someone can tell you about how certain things are doing in DevOps or whether it's things in like in the approach you do to do it, but you can think about whether to do it or not, or you can just try to see whether that works. But it just gives you more insight and more information to build upon your experience as a person.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yeah, sure. You might need to edit it out and some of them if required.
Sure. And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, can you share your web links to my podcast listeners so that they can follow you and can learn from you?
Uh, yeah, yeah, sure, that's brilliant. So you can find me if you want to contact me. You can find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you just search Nicholas Chang, you can find me in, and it will be the one from Kainos. And for Twitter, it will be Nick underscore Cloud Ops and stuff. Yeah, you can contact
Yeah.
me there, and if you've got any questions.
Thank you very much, Nivas, for your time and for your presence and sharing some of your experiences.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Start Adam. Sales and customer-facing teams often switch between several communication tools, causing time management and visibility issues that can slow down deal velocity. The solution: join Start Adam, where conversation converts. With Start Adam, your team can centralize all communication within your chat tool. No more switching, waiting, or fragmented chats, because chat messaging is where business gets done. Sales teams can stay in Slack or Microsoft Teams and connect with customers, leads, or candidates on their existing chat tool, building better relationships through constant communication and inbound or outbound messaging. Make it encrypted and compliant. Plus, bring all communication into your CRM or ticketing system, no data entry required. Join Start Adam to enhance customer relationships and close deals at hyper speed with unified chat.